Hello Physical Fiends, it is Jordan here with some just announced physical releases. These are games that have been recently announced. They are not releasing this week, okay? And as always, I do not put limited pre-order stuff in here since they are always covered in Monday's video, and there's no point repeating myself. So let's take a look at what's recently been announced. The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered has finally been announced for a North American physical release, and it's coming in just a couple of weeks, October 13th. Now, it's not certain what's on the disc or what's not on the disc, which is a shame. Hopefully the main game is playable without a download. Oblivion. I have extremely fond memories of playing this on my 360. The reason I bought the damn console, traded in most of my PS2 games for it. I didn't enjoy it as much as Morrowind, but still had a great time, and I would love to try this remaster. And if you want to pre-order it or any of the games in this video, then please do consider using the links I've put in the description and pinned comment. Any purchase made via those links massively helps support me and this channel in the best way possible, and I do truly thank you ever so much. You can get free worldwide shipping from VGP on orders over 75 Canadian bucks, and if you do buy something, you are put into a weekly draw to have a chance of winning a $10 discount coupon, so you might as well use my links. Old School Rally is getting a physical release on Switch and PS5 sometime next year, and this has really caught my eye. Despite the cheap looking shovelware box art, this is aping for a kind of experience that Sega Rally gave arcade goers or Sega Saturn owners had back in the day, and I am on board. Reviews for the early access versions are positive, so fingers crossed it lives up to it at full release. KEMCO RPG Selection Volume 3 has been announced for a North American physical release on Switch and PlayStation 5. I'm amazed they've persevered to Volume 3. This includes Frayne, Dragon's Odyssey, Sephiroth Stories, As Divine Dios, and Illusion of Falsia, whatever, and it's releasing in December. Dunjungle is getting released on Nintendo Switch and PS5 in March next year. It is a 2D action roguelike as you are a monkey going on runs to take down corruption within the jungle. With smooth movement and fun action, reviews for the early access version on PC have been very positive. Please Be Happy is a Yuri visual novel from Studio Ilan. They've had a couple of physicals on the Switch by now, and they've worked with Limited Run before, but against all odds, this is getting a physical release at retail via GS2 Games, who are mostly known for shovelware, but they are diversifying their portfolio with good games once in a while. This is a decently long VN, about 20 hours, with slice of life and urban fantasy stuff. It's supposed to be pretty good. It's releasing sometime next year. Dead of Darkness is a 2D top-down survival horror game that reminds me of the Heaven's Dust games, but this looks even more awesome. You investigate a mysterious island, solve puzzles, avoid deadly traps, and, of course, horrible monsters. Looks right up my alley, and this is releasing thanks to GS2 Games as well in March next year. I'm looking forward to it. Homura, The Crimson Warriors is an Otome visual novel from Automate, and it's been published in the West via Idea Factory rather than Axis Games. How do they decide all of this? Do they flip a coin, have an arm wrestle? Who knows? This has some historical fantasy things going on, set in the early days of the Tokugawa shogunate. This was previously a Vita game, but like all of them, it's making its way to the Switch in the summer of next year. Yeah, summer next year, it's a long wait. Nioh 3 has been officially announced for a physical release, with pre-orders opening for the Standard Edition as well as a launch day Steelbook Edition on February the 6th. That Steelbook Edition also comes with some bonus DLCs, just some little things though. The story follows on from the previous games, now taking control of one of Tokugawa's heirs to the shogunate of Japan. This is definitely going to be a fantastic release like the previous two, so I'm told. Code Vein 2 is an announcement that made many people very happy. The original was a Souls-like game that many people said was an easy 6 out of 10 all day long, and yet it had the charm to it that made people like it more than they probably should. That had online co-op, which was a big thing in its favor, but this sequel doesn't seem to have that. But yeah, if you want more action, then look forward to this in January. Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties is getting a physical release on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Sadly, the Switch 2 is a game key. As someone who's only played a bit of Zero, I don't know if Dark Ties is a brand new content thing or was DLC as well back in the day, but either way, if you haven't played Yakuza before, you know you're gonna have a solid time with them, and it's releasing on February the 12th. 9 Years of Shadows was done by Limited Run Games on Switch in North America, but now it's getting a PlayStation 5 physical release at retail in Europe. It is Tessura Games, so it's coming in a standard edition as well as a collector's edition in December. It is a Metroidvania, nothing top tier, but a decent-ish one if you don't have much time to dedicate to gaming, since it's not a super long game. DreadOut Remastered Collection is getting a physical release in North America on PlayStation 5. A little strange they're not doing the Switch version, considering that did get a physical release in Asia already, but here you get two games, the first main game and also a spin-off game that changed up the gameplay a little bit. I liked the second game quite a lot, but I've not had a chance to play the first. It was a bit like a budgeted Fatal Frame as you take photos of ghosts to defeat them. Alright, let's take a look at some recent import announcements. These are games that so far only have an Asian or Japanese release with English. But since there's always time, keep in mind a Western physical could be announced at any point in the future. But if you want to pre-order these, you can do so via the links below, either via VGP if they have them, or PlayAsia. And if you purchase from PlayAsia, you can get 5% off if you click my link and use the code Jordan2025. Sumikko, Gurashi, Tsukurou, Suteki-na, Sumikko, Shima. Apparently this is going to have English. This has been announced for a while now, but I didn't realize that it would have English until very recently. It's from Nippon Columbia, which means I didn't need to check. Of course it wouldn't have English, but no, it does have English. Nothing to get massively excited over, as it looks like a mini-game, live sim, slow-paced kind of thing. Kids will probably enjoy it. It's releasing in Japan in November. CARTAGRA, The Sickness of Possessory and Crazy, that's got to be a badly translated title, is a visual novel published by Prototype, and it is an ancient VN, relatively speaking. It's from 2005 on PlayStation 2 and computers, and no doubt remastered for modern consoles, and it's releasing physically on the Switch in English. Apparently it's releasing on Christmas Day, which is really cool considering the wintry theme on the box art. Heart of Crown is a deck-building card game based on an actual card game. Or is it the other way around? Who knows, but this will offer online play if you need an anime-style card game. It looks alright, but I have no other opinion on it other than that. It's releasing in December on the 18th with English. Chrono Ark is a roguelike deck-building RPG because, of course it is. It's supposed to be very good though, with comparisons to Library of Ruina, but some say it's even better. There is a large focus on the story here, which is unusual for a roguelike indie game, but 20 characters, each of them unique from one another. Sounds amazing if you enjoyed these type of games. It will have English when it releases at the end of January. Dear Mirror Flower is releasing in March next year, at least as long as that's not a placeholder. This is a short visual novel with not exactly great reviews from when it released digitally on PC earlier this summer. Your classic amnesiac story, just not told in a super classic way, but it will have English. ACA NEOGEO Selections Volume 9 and 10 are two upcoming physical releases on Nintendo Switch to perhaps round off the Neo Geo collections. I am mostly convinced that this will be the end. When I made a video about this, like last week or something, many people had convinced themselves that there was still more to come, and perhaps I didn't make my point as clearly as I could, so very briefly I'll just go over why I think this is the end, aside from just the slipcover pre-order thing, because yes, there are like 50 more Neo Geo games out there, but these collections only use those games that have already been ported to the Switch by Hamster, which came up to 108. 109 now if you count the new port that's included in Volume 10. So maybe they could squeeze one more volume out, but stopping at 11 is weird. Or maybe you're thinking, wow, why don't they just port even more Neo Geo games to the Switch? Well, probably not, at least not enough, because of the other like 40 other Neo Geo games in existence. They fall into a few categories that don't make them ripe for portage. For example, Neo Geo games that are not owned by SNK, so they don't have the right to port them over, like the Visco games. Yes, they were on the Neo Geo, but they've got nothing to do with SNK. Or maybe the games are owned by SNK, but they're weird quiz games, mahjong games, shogi games that just people would not be interested in. No offense. Or they are games that SNK do own, technically, but they have licensed properties within them, like 8-Man, which is a manga, or Bomberman, which is owned by Konami. They just can't be asked to deal with licensing issues. So, while it's not impossible, I think in December it will be the end of the road. 10 glorious volumes of Neo Geo games. Will you have a full collection? I will. Before I finish, a quick little bonus announcement that was not worthy of a video in and of itself, especially not these days because I think most people have it now, but VGP just got in more stock of the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC on the cartridge editions. Yeah, I've linked them down below too. If you want the best versions of Scarlet or Violet with all the DLC on the cartridge, no download required, then you have a chance to pick it up again. It says download required on the box, but that's because there is a voucher for some Pokeballs inside, okay? You don't need to worry. And yeah, there may be an update these days because of the Switch 2 for compatibility reasons, but for just Switch 1, you're sorted with the best version. And I've literally just been playing this today with my daughter. We delved into the DLC for the first time, and yeah, the dialogue is still the most banal and boring dialogue to ever almost destroy a video game, but it is still fun catching all the Pokemon she loves, all the new ones to catch, all the cute ones. Why did they leave the cute ones for the DLC? I don't know. And there we have a bunch of new announcements. What was your favorite in this episode? Let me know in the comments below with your thumbs up, and if you want to pre-order any of these, then please do so via the links below. I greatly appreciate that ever so much, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. Take care.